Reg Pullen called me from the BLM to say that he had just heard this existed and that they were planning to go out, and they wanted me to go with them because they thought it might have some historic relationships that we might be able to help them with.
We had a shipwreck that we didn't know about. The first thing that went through my mind when I saw it was, gee, it's perpendicular to the beach. That's odd. Most of the shipwrecks around here are parallel to the beach. And so at that point, knowing that I didn't have a whole good handle on shipwrecks, I contacted the Coos Historical and Maritime Museum and OPRD, Callum Stevenson, who's the Ocean Shores monitor for OPRD, Ocean Shores coordinator. And it turned out that he had a background in underwater archaeology, and Annie Donnelly at the museum had a lot of information, and so we've been working as a partnership since then to try and identify it.
Reg Pullen called me from the BLM to say that he had just heard this existed and that they were planning to go out, and they wanted me to go with them because they thought it might have some historic relationships that we might be able to help them with. We, of course, have a huge photograph collection, and we were able, with some of the other documentation that we have here, to identify ships that had wrecked in the vicinity and the approximate time period that this ship appeared to date from.
The light clicking was something that I think we all had pretty simultaneously, because there were features on the bow of this wreck that were identical to one of the photos from one of the wrecks that it was possible that it could have been.
I don't know that there was an absolute moment. I think it was just a dawning conviction with all of us. We were so concerned that we not leap to any conclusions too early, that when Bob Schwimmer sent up the photo on which he had done a really detailed comparison marking each spot, the one that was reproduced in the paper, it kind of confirmed what had begun to be a growing certainty.
A lot of it was a challenge to identify it before the time expires, because certainly there will be the middle of March, there'll be no longer access to it.
Well, I'm quite sure, in fact, that this exposure and publicity and the contacts that we've been able to make is because of this will draw much more attention to the museum and help more people realize its potential and its value to the community.
It's gratifying to know that there's a lot of interest in it, and certainly there are ways in this community to satisfy that interest. One of the major ones is going to the Coos Historic and Maritime Museum and checking out the shipwrecks that they have on display, the information they have on display from shipwrecks there.